Hello and welcome to this very special live stream. Great to be with you all because today we're going to witness history.
That's absolutely right, Natalie, because for so many years we've wondered exactly what 11 teams would look like on the grid. Guess what? Today is the day we find out.
And we are here at the team's state-of-the-art HQ. We'll be seeing their brand new car very soon, but behind every team, behind every car, there's one person central to it all.
Yes, and they're a really popular character up and down the paddock with great energy and years of experience in managing people to success. The question is, how will they balance that arm around the shoulder approach, all whilst having to deliver performance on track?
And we'll be seeing more behind the scenes as the season progresses. But of course, it is all about what happens on track. So, without further ado, let's see the fruits of their labor, the brand new 2025 car.
Well, thank you all for joining us. The team have done an incredible job. The car looks sensational.
It certainly does. Congratulations, and all the very best for the season ahead.
Welcome to your Team HQ. This is the hub of the team's operations, and it's probably worth having a look around, familiarizing yourself with the different areas you'll be responsible for directing. You can use these options to navigate around your HQ. Keep an eye out for notifications. I think Madison Engineering was looking for you earlier, and they were asking for you in corporate as well. You should catch up with them before we proceed further. Oh, and as you look around, keep an eye out for this message. It appears wherever you can summon more information. It's a very useful reference if you want to start digging into the finer detail of how the team functions. Okay, seems like everyone has what they need. If there's nothing else you want to do today, feel free to advance time from this menu. This will skip ahead to the next critical event, but don't worry. If anything comes up between now and then, myself or the other facility heads will interrupt and let you know. So, we're going to need to open talks with drivers for next season. They could be ours, or are currently driving for other teams. You should head to the driver comms page to see who you want to consider. This is where we manage our discussions with drivers, both our drivers and other drivers we might be interested in signing in the future. These slots are for our current drivers. We're obviously much closer to these two than anyone else, but it's still an important job each year, figuring out what's important to them and where their long-term aspirations lie. But we also have to be prepared for the future. If we lose one of our drivers, or if we feel we have a better prospect, it's important to have done the groundwork to allow us to negotiate with a new driver. Or more than one. Just be cautious. The more drivers we engage with, the more likely it is that our current drivers will get wind of it, and that can very much affect how they feel about us, and about their future in our team. Here you can review the progress of negotiations with a specific driver. This is a summary of the current status. Over time, we in the personnel department will progress talks with this driver. The more progress we make, the more we'll find out about both their expectations of our team and of the kind of contract they'd consider. At key points of this process, face-to-face meetings with the driver are critical to unlock further insights and to build a rapport with them. Ultimately, this will allow us to negotiate better terms if we decide to move to contract. For now, the contract window is closed, so let's just focus on doing the groundwork to sound out some likely candidates.
Hey, Chief, just a reminder to kick off some research projects. We don't want to fall behind our rivals, and we haven't got anything in the pipeline at the moment. Thanks. The research group have delivered us a design, but we need to actually build the thing if it's going to be of any use. And for that, we have the development group. This is where we turn the engineers' dreams into reality. Here's the upgrade we've researched, selected to start development. So it's up to you whether to kick this development off now or not, but when you do, you'll want to consider how you want to develop it. Certain options won't be available until you've invested a bit more into improving this facility. But the important thing to think about is that you need to develop 2 copies of the part, one for each of your driver's cars. If you only have a single part when you get to a Grand Prix, you'll need to visit the Assign Upgrades area to decide which driver's car to prioritize.
Right, nearly time to head to the track. Let me know which driver you'd like to follow this weekend. They'll get a bit of a boost from your presence. We'll keep tabs on the other driver while you're busy.
The long wait is over. This is it, a brand new season. And before the show gets well and truly underway, we've got the all-important matter of a free practice session. It's great to be back.
Hey mate, this is Mark. This is going to be a good year. We're going to have a great time together, and obviously the team are brand new, so I've set everything up from scratch. Let's make the big boss happy and show that we're not just here on the grid to make up the numbers, all right?
The long wait is over. This is it, a brand new season. And before the show gets well and truly underway, we've got the all-important matter of a free practice session. It's great to be back.
Hey mate, this is Mark. This is going to be a good year. We're going to have a great time together, and obviously the team are brand new, so I've set everything up from scratch. Let's make the big boss happy and show that we're not just here on the grid to make up the numbers, all right? Right, the car's ready. Let's get it out there.
And a warm welcome, everybody. We're here in the heart of Melbourne. It's Albert Park, and it's qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix.
Fantastic, you've got pole position.
With qualifying complete, all that remains now is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then. The winter is over. It's time for Formula One 2025. Yes, that long break that you've all been coping with so well can now be put to the back of your minds. It's on-track action and it's off-track drama. That's what we're looking forward to. So here we are at Albert Park Circuit, 3.28 miles around, with the streets making for a bumpy surface with little undulation. There are 14 corners around the lake, with the best passing opportunities coming at turn 1 and turn 3. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. An immense lap from Jenson Button yesterday puts him on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Hamilton, Oscar Piastri, and Russell, Norris, Fernando Alonso, Stroll, and Esteban Ocon, Tsunoda, Bortoleto, Isaac Hadjar, and Hülkenberg, Antonelli, Sainz, Alex Albon, and Pierre Gasly, Behrman, Martins, Lawson, and Jack Doohan rounds off the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. Alongside me here in the commentary box today, former racing driver extraordinaire Naomi Schiff. New season, new dawn, and now 22 cars and 11 teams on the grid.
First of all, this is such an exciting time. I mean, to have an 11th team on the grid is exciting news for the sport. But for them today, I guess you would be really nervous. It's the first time you're going to be doing this. There is so much to learn. But at the end of the day, they've got to remember that expectations aren't that high. They've all been there before. They've all had their first race, and no one is expecting them to land on the top of the podium. So just learn to walk before you can run.
Right, mate, excellent start to the season throughout qualifying yesterday, but that's only half of it. I need to convert that pole into a win to make it really count. DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far. Okay, final lap. Let's go. Final lap. Absolutely awesome. Just amazing, mate. Well done.
Of all his wins, this he'll be most proud of. It's victory once again for Jenson Button.
To take the win at the first race of the season, now that is important. You get straight in to your competitor's head and they now know that you are the one to beat.
Well, what a thrilling end to an incredible Grand Prix weekend. Our top 3 finishers should be incredibly happy with what they were able to achieve out there today. Well, that was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.
Hey, Chief. Engineering need your attention on something.
Welcome back, boss. I'm sure you're busy, but could you swing by personnel when you have a moment, please?